Hi, Tin from K-On, and we've got a Fortuna here today, and we've got a new product, the rear roof standalone shelf for the Fortuna. This one doesn't need the cargo barrier, and we're going to show you how to install it. Okay, the first step in installing the shelf is to remove these handles. It's probably the hardest part of installing this. So you'll need a little flat screwdriver. Now if you come in here, you'll see there's a little notch there where you can get your screwdriver underneath. Now what you want to do is you want to actually pry it out and pull it out at the same time. You see that's popped out, and then just pull the top out. And it's a bit tight, but you should be able to pry that off. Oh, there it goes. So you want to get that cover off, and now there's a little metal clip inside as well, and it pops out like that. Now do that on the other side as well, and then we'll have a look at how to install the captive nuts. Toyota have continued with their methodology of attaching the handles to the roof, in which they use the clips, which means we don't have any captive nuts in the roof here. What we have noticed is that Toyota are starting to use a much more direct method of attaching these little brackets to the frame in the roof, and the material is thicker as well. Now, if you notice, there's a rectangular opening on this side and a funny opening on this side with the little notches in the corners. So we need to pay attention because the hardware we're going to put up in the roof will be slightly different. This is the hardware to mount the M6 captive nuts in the roof. Now you notice that we've got two versions, a rectangular version and the one with the notches in the corners there. So to install these, we need to set these up. This retainer here will clip and hold this nut block up in the roof. So to do that, you'll have a long M6 bolt, and you want to set it up with the retainer in this orientation, and you want to wind this nut block on. Notice the orientation of that as well. We want the little steps to face towards the retainer. That will actually sit on the bracket in the roof. So set it up like that, and we'll show you how to clip those into the roof. Okay, we're up on the roof here, and I just wanted to show you this captive nut block we're going to put in behind there. Now we actually want to have it sitting in this direction and sort of aligned with these little ledges we have on the aluminium nut block. We're going to insert it in this way and turn it this way. So the way we do that is the retainer and the nut block we set up earlier on this long bolt. We want to put the nut block in, insert it, rotate it 90 degrees, and you'll see that it'll sit there. Now this is the fiddly part. You want to insert one side first. I've got one side in, and now I'll just push down the other side, and it's clipped in. Now what you want to be careful of is that you don't have that roof liner sort of sitting underneath this. Just pick it out, make sure that that retainer is secure. Now once it's done, you'll feel it because you'll be able to pull it forward. Just remove the M6 bolt, and there you have it. That line's a bit messy, but now you have an M6 nut block in behind the bracket up in the roof. Once you got those up there in the roof, it's plain sailing. Grab your shelf bracket. Now these are handed. We want this M10 nutset to be sort of forward of the handles there. So as you can see, grab two M6 bolts and carefully wind them in. You actually don't want to push on those nut blocks that are in the roof there. You don't want them to fall out. They're fairly secure, so that shouldn't happen. But wind those up in there, grab your M10 socket and tighten them. Once that's done, repeat on the other side. Grab your shelf and the fence, and we're going to attach it with the M5 bolts and nuts. Now notice the orientation. We want the flanges both facing the same way. And you've got 4 M5 bolts and nuts to attach. And just tighten those up. Your shelf's ready to install now. You will notice there's a bunch of different holes. There's 3 positions forward and back, 2 positions up and down, as well as 2 positions up and down on the bracket. Now decide where you might want your shelf to sit, and then it's probably worthwhile having a second set of hands to lift up the shelf. Grab your M6 bolts and nuts. Okay, put the M6 bolt through and attach it with a nut. Do that on both sides. Check that you're happy with the position of the shelf and adjust as necessary. So we're definitely going to get this question: what if I have the K-on cargo barrier already? Well, we've made some considerations for that. What we would normally have if you have the cargo barrier only is you'll have this clamp over the handle. But now that the handle's gone, what we've done is we've made provision for an M10 mounting point there. And what you do is the barrier will just attach to that mounting point. And it's got adjustment too, depending on where your seat is. So grab the knob and just attach it back in place, and your barrier and your shelf can live together. I suppose what that also means is you can quickly remove your barrier if you need to. We're all done now. The roof shelf is in, looks fantastic. We've got all this space up the top here. Now all you have to do is decide what to put up there.